guys, welcome back to my channel. Forgive me, I have lost my voice, but today we are going to be doing something fun and different. We are going to be embroidering on this white painter suit. You can see I already have the embroidery done, doing my intro after I've already stitched this out. I am so happy with how this turned out, so I'm going to show you guys how I did each section. I'm doing a voiceover for all of the different embroidery sections just because even though my voice is as bad as it is now, it was terrible when I was stitching this out, so I'm just doing a voiceover now to show you guys. I used my 8x13 mighty hoop for the back. Look at how sweet this back embroidery turned out. I used the 5x5 mighty hoop for the name right here, and for this one I actually used the, what size is this? The D hoop that comes with the TC. I need to get more mighty hoops for my TC because the 8x9 mighty hoop would have been perfect for this, but that's on my EM. I'm having tension issues with my EM right now. I need to go back through and do some maintenance. So this hoop actually fit perfect, and you'll see in the time lapse I clamped it just for good measure, but I'm going to show you guys the stitch out and how I did all of these. I used 2 layers of thick cutaway for both. One, because I know that this isn't going to be sitting directly on her skin, so I'm not really worried about it irritating her. And 2, especially this back design, it's very, very dense. It's a very big design. It was like 75,000 stitches. And I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to get any puckering. I wanted to make sure the embroidery was going to turn out super, super clean, which it did. I'll show you here soon. So yeah, so I used 2 layers of thick cutaway for every single design. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the video and I will show you how I did it. So this design actually printed on 2 different sheets of paper because it's so big. So I'm just going to trim the edge off here, and then we are going to tape them together, lining up as best we can to find the center point, and then we are going to lay it on the back of the jumpsuit and figure out where exactly we want to place it. And once I have it centered and where I want, I'm just going to use some packing tape to hold it in place while I get it on the mighty hoop stand. So like I said in the beginning, I used 2 layers of this really thick cutaway just because this back design was so dense. It was, I want to say it was around 75,000 stitches. It took like an hour and a half to stitch out, and I went through 3 bobbins, but I think doubling up on the stabilizer really, really helped me. I don't know that it was absolutely necessary because the painter's jumpsuit is so thick anyways. I probably would have been fine with just 1, but in my opinion, it doesn't hurt to just throw that extra layer on for good measure, especially on something like this, something that you know is not going to be right against somebody's skin, irritating them. You know, they're going to have clothes on underneath. And so I just went with my gut and went with 2 layers of stabilizer, and I'm really happy that I did because the design turned out really, really crisp. But once I get the 2 layers of stabilizer on, I'm going to spray it with basting adhesive, and then I'm just going to lay the jumpsuit on top. It was a little tricky to hoop because the zipper in front, it didn't want to open all the way, so I did have to play with it a little bit, and then making sure it was straight was a little tricky too. But we eventually got it, and it hooped really, really well. And that 11x13 mighty hoop was the absolute perfect size. Now we're going to get it on the machine and do our trace and all of that good stuff. I do have a stool underneath that's holding up like the bulk of the jumpsuit. I've talked about this in my videos before, just because I don't like how much weight gets put on the arms sometimes. So I'll put a stool there, and that really helps just kind of support it. So now we're just gonna have it stitch out. Now we're going to move to the front side of the jumpsuit, and we are going to do the front right chest first. We're going to do the name, and we're going to go 3 inches down from the collar using this T-square from Mighty Hoop. And I like to line up that center horizontal line with the 3-inch line all the way down. Here I'm just making sure that it's the correct size that I printed out, and we're just going to line it up. And I will show you how I hoop it on the Freestyle Mighty Hoop stand with the 5x5 hoop. In here I have my 2 layers of cutaway hooped and ready to go. I have the jumpsuit zipped open, and I'm going to bring it across the stand right here, spray it with some spray adhesive, and then using the lines, I'm going to line it up with the line on the Mighty Hoop stand and just make sure it is straight. Make sure my sleeve isn't, folded in under itself. Just make sure it is as straight as possible. And then I'm gonna put the top of the hoop on, and that's really gonna help me line it up even more because there's center markings on the top hoop. And then we're gonna snap, pull it just a little bit, just to make sure it is perfectly nice and taut underneath, and we are ready to take it to the machine. So same exact thing, we are going to place it on the hoop using our stool to hold up the weight of the jumpsuit. We're gonna trace, make sure it is lined up and good to go, and stitch it out. I didn't film hooping the balloon for the front left chest. My camera battery had died, so that was pretty unfortunate. But I used the D hoop that came with the TC, and it was the absolute perfect size. You can see I'm using a clamp here just for good measure. The jumpsuit is really, really thick, and I felt like I had that little ring tight enough, but I've had it happen before where, you know, a thick item like the hoop comes undone during stitching. It's not fun. So I used the clamp just for good measure. I didn't have anything happen and it came out absolutely perfect, but I love using those clamps just for peace of mind. So we're just gonna let this stitch out and then it'll be done. So here is how the front turned out. Isn't this such a cute name, Professor Balloon? So yeah, so that text turned out really, really good. Here's the balloon on the front left chest. Turned out absolutely perfect. This jumpsuit is so big, it's kind of hard to straighten it out to show you guys. But I am so, so happy with how this embroidery turned out. It turned out so clean and crisp and perfect. Absolutely flawless. Thank you, Dream Digitizing, for this. I did have to request one edit because these two colors were on the same step. I requested an edit and I had my edit back, I think like within an hour. It was very, very fast. So definitely happy with this digitizing, the embroidery. Everything that I used was candle thread. So from top to bottom, I am very, very happy and proud of how this turned out. I think this is one of my best stitch outs so far. You know, a lot of colors, a lot of steps, but I think it turned out absolutely perfect. And even though it took like an hour and a half to stitch out, I never had a thread break or needle break or anything. I just had to switch out the bobbin like 3 times. So yeah, really happy with how that turned out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Leave me a comment down below and I will see you next time.